the Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
If you've got a personal auto insurance question, you could talk to a cab driver. Although the policies he recommends might include avoiding the interstate, beating traffic by taking the back roads, and only making left turns when absolutely necessary. Or you could talk to your local GEICO agent, whose policy is to use their expertise to navigate your insurance, finding the best route to help you save money on insurance for your home, car, and more. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to avoid traffic jams and potholes entirely. To find a GEICO agent near you, visit geico.com/local.
If we go to page 11 in the presentation, you'll see that we're on target to meet our quarterly.
Some things never change, like nobody can resist popping plastic bubbles. And GEICO saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
As I was saying, we're on target to meet. Excuse me, Miss Hansen.
Sorry, almost done.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Oh, little weed, you know.
It's the Weedsman Podcast Nugget.
Zippity what?
Ready to drop the bass? Let's drop the bass.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean?
All the random stuff that didn't fit in Friday's show you'll find here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man. You got a joint?
Got a little bit of refry smell on your boot?
What that mean?
Please, just give me my weed, all right?
People are stealing Legos. Lego theft is on the rise.
Why?
I think it's because it's going to become the new currency. You know, Legos are damn near indestructible. So I wouldn't be surprised if society does collapse. Legos actually could become a viable currency because it's very well engineered and precisely so that it's actually the reason Legos are so expensive is because it actually takes expensive machines to make them, to get tolerances to make sure that every Lego piece snaps together with every other Lego piece. I mean, I don't think most people understand the types of tolerances that we're talking about, the types of accuracy in plastic making that they've been on the forefront of for decades now. And still, when it comes to toys, nobody's beating them on this. Nobody does a better job of doing that. And so it would be something that you wouldn't be able to replicate. People couldn't make bootleg Legos. You could just try and snap it to any other Lego. It's like a self-checking system. It's kind of like having it's like Bitcoin. It has a ledger that checks itself. You can just say, oh, this is a Lego. I think it's a Mega Block, dude. No, look at that. Doesn't fit. Get the fuck out of here with your fucking Mega Blocks. Go to the next town over.
This means property value at Legoland is going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
That's where all the rich people are going to live.
Well, it would be a limited resource, right? They're not, society collapses. They're not making any more Legos. So it's limited. It's not easily counterfeitable.
Wait, what kind of stoner thought is this? You're talking about Legos?
It's easily divided already into segments, right? So you're like, this little one brick, this one knob, whatever they call it, represents $1, whatever you want to call it, and 2 and 4 and 8, and you have all the way up to probably bricks that have 20 or more on them, and then you can stack them all together, and you can have one whole brick that you can carry with you, and I don't know. I
gotta tell my nephews to hold on to that shit. Like, you be rich one day. Never throw those out.
Like bottle caps, shells. Like shells you can find, and they're not. You don't know how many there are in the world. It's not really a controlled thing.
How's the value determined? Is the little ones worth like the least, or is it?
Well, yeah, I think that naturally that would flow that way. But the value ultimately is determined. You're saying how does it get quantized down into
the big
into
Lego
mats?
Amounts, that's like what, $10,000?
But the value is determined simply by the scarcity and the difficulty in counterfeiting, which is really
seeing a lot of the stuff from the Star Wars sets would be truly valuable.
That's how that's how the value is established in any kind of Bitcoin. It's has a certain scarcity to it, and it has
crypto.
Any kind of crypto coin has scarcity and has it's almost impossible to counterfeit.
I just got all tech snob on you because you're using Bitcoin to describe all crypto.
Right? Yeah, I was Kleenexing it. So I don't know. Maybe these guys. There's been a slew of Lego thefts. 3 suspects were caught taking boxes of Legos from a toy shop near Paris.
Oh, I was waiting for Florida. I was waiting for like Tallahassee, Tampa, Gainesville. Or is it Paris, Florida?
No, Paris, France, with the goal of selling them in Poland.
Oh, European. Ooh, it's international. So I got a mustache and a beret. Oh, probably it's France.
You're imagining them all driving away quickly in different colored Mini Coopers.
Yes, going through the subway. There's awful techno music playing. Yeah. Well, absolutely. From it's definitely international. It's between 2 countries. You could say that. I mean, smuggle something from Detroit to Windsor. The charges will be international.
It's an international Lego heist. I mean, it's right there. I don't know. It doesn't have a dollar amount. And it links to a story in the Parisian, but unfortunately, I don't read French.
How is there not a filter on Google yet that can do that shit for us?
I don't even know how to accept cookies on this site. Okay.
Just hit the one that says we.
Google Translate. The one that says I can't do it.
The one that's on the left. That's the one we click in the United States. The one that's on the right declines.
There was one in the U.S. as well. Man in Oregon was arrested after local police suspected he stole $7,500 worth of Lego toy sets.
That's street value of Legos.
I don't know if that's retail or street value.
You got $7.5K.
You got to figure like street value on Legos is going under retail, right? I mean, what else is the point? You're not buying. You're not going to buy a fucking Lego Millennium Falcon for $500 off the street.
Yeah, is that the SRP of the Legos he stole?
Unless they're actually collectible. Like if they're out of print, then sky's the limit on that.
Yeah, or is it some one-off limited shit like the Wait, our toy? No, there are no more toy stores. So like the toy store near him had a thing where like there's only like 50 of these in the world, and we got 4 of them. But
I just realized what the big reveal at the end of the first chapter of my graphic novel about the world ending and everybody using Legos as currency is going to be so they finally get to some mysterious, Oz type of figure, the one controlling it all or pulling the strings, and they break into his place and find that he doesn't just have Legos. He's got like the original sets, like NIB, new in box, out of print Lego sets.
Damn.
He's not trifling with these like, let me get a couple yellow 2s for some smokes.
World domination.
Developing a language for this now. Give me some smokes for a couple yellow 2s.
Well, and obviously too, you have to actually get in with Lego for some synergy on the marketing for this.
Man,
graphic
that
novel.
That is a clear windshield piece. Come on, unmarred, still transparent. What are you going to give me for a clear windshield piece that's at least worth that bicycle?
This is the original Lego man. All right, nothing with your new crazy. They got hair and accessories. None of this bullshit. The original Lego man, no hair, just a smile. What you giving me for this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look here. They noted in this story, some sellers are asking for more than $3,500 for an unopened set of the Lego Millennium Falcon.
Fucking, I knew Star Wars was going to be involved somehow. This is like high nerd crime or nerd high crime. Either one. What if the guy in Oregon is sending them to the guys in Paris who are then trying to sell them in Poland? What if they're working together? Or the guys in Paris are going to sell them to the guy in Oregon? Do we ever think of that? If I had one of those boards in front of me, there'd definitely be a piece of yarn between these two people right now to figure out how they connected.
You know, what would our world look like without Star Wars? Honestly, because nobody really thought that you could make millions in selling action figures of your movie characters until Star Wars.
It's true.
And there would have been other movies that would have captured our imagination, but not in the same way. Like
nerds always find a way.
Like, sure, there would have been E.T. dolls, right? But it's not like what do you, E.T. and Alf, like they're one-man acts, right? There's no cavalcade of characters amongst those.
It would have been something else just because I just view it as the marketing person who came up with that would have been hired by someone else and would have done it with something else. Like that was essentially, that was a concept that somebody came up with and they rolled the dice on it and it worked.
Yeah, but I think it takes more than that. It wasn't just that somebody had that idea. Somebody applied that idea to the right situation, which was Star Wars.
Which leads to my next sentence out of my mouth. Now, Star Wars had a lot of heat, and I'm sure that definitely helped it.
I'm saying that's the only thing that sealed the deal. Like it's not a foregone conclusion that action figures were going to be a huge part of your and my childhoods. Up until then, it was kind of like an offshoot of Barbie of some sort that, I remember my parents, our parents' generation had like G.I. Joes, right, that were about Barbie size that you could dress up. That was still dolls. Like, boys grew out of that shit quickly.
Well, they rebranded them. They called them action figures.
Right.
They were still tiny dolls.
But I'm saying that like you don't get a G.I. Joe, a successful G.I. Joe reboot without Star Wars having a successful action figure line. You don't get Transformers then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't get, there's so many things that you don't get because Star Wars like showed them how to make money off of it.
Yeah, it was just a perfect storm. It was just introduced at the right time. Using the right vehicle.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Hello, this is your apartment. I need some favors from you. Your cat keeps rubbing against the kitchen island, and I can't return the favor. Can you give her extra pets for me? After that, could you bundle your renters and car insurance with GEICO? We could save money, and it's easy to do online. And one last thing. Could you leave the TV on during the day? I need to catch up on my soaps.
GEICO. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
If we go to page 11 in the presentation, you'll see that... You'll see we're on target to meet our quarterly...
Some things never change. Like nobody can resist popping plastic bubbles. And GEICO saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
As I was saying, we're on target to meet... Excuse me, Miss Hansen.
Sorry, almost done.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale, where you can save up to $300 on our top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 on Sealy. Or buy Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Shop Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and more with our sleep experts today to find your best sleep. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
It might have been a fad here, like, Gremlins or Smurfs. These are examples of you can make endless amounts of variations on the same design, right? And people did collect those, and then it just kind of faded away. I guess there is still a figurine collection that's part of nerddom now that you could say went back to. I mean, do you remember were you a collector of Smurf figures?
No.
They were, but do you know what I'm talking about? They were about.
I hated the Smurfs. It was on
they were like
too
about
long.
an inch and a half. Too many years or too many minutes?
Too many minutes. There was always a huge chunk out of my Saturday morning. They were on for 90 minutes. Who the fuck was on for 90 minutes?
They did 90 minutes of Smurfs, man. I remember them being popular, but boy, when
they did their original run, their Saturday morning run, it got up to 90 fucking minutes. Now, when they decided to finally do a half an hour and they went in syndication, I watched that shit. But no, I hated the Smurfs on Saturday morning. Why? You could roll. There could be you're 2 more shows we could be watching because you're doing an hour and a half for the Smurfs. The fuck was this? Anyway,
I don't ever remember Smurfs being on for that long, but it could just be like that difference in years between us. Not that it's great, but I was.
Dude, Saturday morning was a big fucking deal for me when I was a kid. Like I was a kid getting up at because if you know what kid bits are, you loved Saturday morning because you were because you got up too early if Kid Bits was on. Like I'm up too early. I got up too early today. Kid Bits is still on. Shit.
Dude, I was like. You get up early enough, you'll catch a Three Stooges before that. Then you can watch a couple crazy old cartoons and the Kid Bits and what would they do? They had like science segments or something in between, or just little setups. It was basically like having a local host for
it was local Mr. Wizard.
Syndication content. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like local Mr. Wizard. It was some ginger. I think his name was Doug for some reason. It was like
Mr. Wizard combined with Bozo the Clown, because Mr. Wizard never introduced segments.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because they were little pre-shot, canned science segments.
Yeah, or like how they do horror movies or any kind of older genre stuff. What would have been? We had. A local host, right? I never watched him, but I've heard people reference him.
For what? For who?
I'm blanking on the names of any of these people. They would host horror movies, right?
Oh, you're talking about the Ghoul.
Yeah, the Ghoul. There you go. That's one of them. Was that the Detroit one, or was that the one out of?
He's out of Cleveland,
Chicago. Oh, Cleveland.
And then and then there was somebody else. There's this thing going around called sniffing. Oh wow! I typed in Kid Bits, and there's a fucking PSA on the YouTube video where they're talking about sniffing, which I guess what they used to call huffing.
Oh,
what huffing was before. Yeah, there's like a globe.
Right, he'll have some kind of fact, and then he's like, and now here's Bugs Bunny getting his ass kicked by a gremlin.
See, that's the kind of stuff I don't remember. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, you're right. And now it's like some kind of stupid comedy bit. Wow, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would splice in like a couple shorts every episode. It's like, they got a license to broadcast a certain amount of Warner Brothers content, and they're like, well, we can turn this into a whole half hour of hamburger if we just mix it in with all this shit that we can do locally.
But yeah, that's how you knew you were up too early, at least in Detroit, because that showed. But it also meant when it was over, the cartoons began.
That's when the real action happened.
Yes.
So what was top lineup on Saturday morning? What was your dream lineup?
Oh, I don't even remember. I usually remember NBC. Always had generally had the better cartoons.
Hands down, NBC was king on Saturday morning for a long time. I remember that much.
CBS had a lot of the just like their primetime shows, a lot of the stupid shit, a lot of the who is this for kind of cartoons. Like CBS, a lot of their shows in general.
They were broadcasting like Rubik's the Cube.
But dude, they had a lot of I remember CBS having a lot of those cartoons that were like animated dramas. Like, who is this for? That kind of shit. Like, little kids are watching this shit.
Like Gem and the Holograms?
No, that wasn't like that was more for girls, because my sister watched that shit.
Sure, yeah.
No, like shit about like...
I watched it. I thought the Misfits were hot.
Shit about like a girl and her horse. That kind of stuff. Like...
All right.
Like, who is this for? Like, my grandma's going to watch cartoons? No. And then ABC was hit and miss. ABC, I remember, seemed to have, but NBC was guilty of this too. ABC had a lot of the, from what I remember, if things were hopping on a trend and they made a cartoon show about it, it'd be on ABC. Like, Hammerman was on ABC. Where MC Hammer had the talking shoes.
What about Mr. T? Was his show on ABC?
I think that was a Channel 4. That was NBC. Mr. T and his Warriors. Yeah, remember they were like a traveling gymnastics team or something like that.
What would you say is a prime year for Saturday morning cartoons? You're like 87?
Mid-80s, yeah. Anywhere from like 84 to 87 was prime Saturday morning.
All right, because we're going to go straight to the source now. I kind of want to see what's going on. Not that I don't trust any of your memory on this, but here's what so we're looking at Saturday morning, 1985. Here's what's on TV. 8 a.m. starting with ABC's got the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes comedy show, probably what our local affiliate was turning into Kid Bits and stuff like that. CBS has got Berenstain Bears.
No, because I remember that being on. That would be how they would start with
Okay, so 8 a.m. you got Snorks. So you hated the Smurfs. The Snorks are just underwater Smurfs.
I remember watching this. Wow, I'm remembering all these things because channel. I'm starting to remember, jogging my memory. Yeah, these were the first ones on. Berenstain Bears was the first one on Channel 2. Snorks was the first one on Channel 4. But yeah.
So NBC, this is kind of a dead spot early in the morning for me because I wasn't into the Snorks. I hated the Gummy Bears. I outgrew the Smurfs by that time.
I think
these the Smurfs were on for an hour from 9 to 10. No, you're right, an hour and a half, 9, 10, 30.
Yes!
It's a fucking hour and a half of the Smurfs.
What the fuck? I remember being little like, what the fuck? Why? There could be 2 other shows on. Who wants an hour and a half of the fucking Smurfs?
I do not know. But they're going up against, now this would be a tough one for me. I might have to split 50-50 between the Muppet Babies and Star Wars Ewoks and Star Wars Droids.
No context for me. Muppet Babies every time.
Yeah, Muppet Babies won out for the most time. I would peep at the Ewoks, but Muppet Babies were a must-see.
At that point in my life, definitely wasn't as into Star Wars as I ended up being as an adult. Yeah, definitely Muppet Babies every damn time. And Muppet Babies is on for a while. Muppet Babies, I think, ran for like a decade.
Oh, yeah. They're redoing it. I think actually it might be out already, or at least they finished production on it because there was an interview with somebody who was working on it on a podcast. I think it was on Smartless.
Will Nanny still just be a pair of legs?
Yeah.
Because that was the running gag.
Well, yeah, and because that's how it came up, was they were talking about how to handle Nanny and how they don't show her face, but they were being kind of obtuse about it. So I don't know if they were just trying not to spoil it or if everyone's just seen it already and I just didn't understand it.
Nanny was Mrs. Cleaver.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
No shit. That makes total sense. All right, so we're 10 a.m. now. We're almost out of the Smurf dredge. You've got, between ABC and CBS, you have Super Friends on ABC and Hulk Hogan's Rock and Roll Wrestling.
Oh, that was a Sophie's choice for me sometimes. Yeah. But Rock and Wrestling ended up.
I'm sure you could always jump over to PBS to watch an episode of The Green Forest if you wanted to.
Not.
If you were ever inclined.
If I was ever on PBS, I was slumming. I was like a junkie looking for a fix. There's got to be cartoons on somewhere, man.
Just anything animated. I don't care if the mouths match. Yeah. All right, so that's a tough choice.
To be honest, Rock and Wrestling I think I would flip back and forth on commercials. Rock Wrestling eventually got canceled because that fad went away. But yeah, that definitely was like, all right, let's go see what's on Super Friends. Oh, let's go back to that. That definitely, I remember flipping between the two.
Well, that was the fall schedule. By spring, they were going with Scooby-Doo All-Star Laugh Olympics up against Scooby-Doo, not up against, I'm sorry, back to back with Scooby's Mystery Funhouse. So were you big into Scooby, or are you still taking the Hulkster over that?
The Hulkster, for sure.
And then NBC frees up its lineup from the Smurfs to give us Punky Brewster.
I remember watching that shit.
The animated show of the Punky Brewster.
Yeah, she had the little, his name I think was Gomer. Like she had some little fucking like talking fucking guinea pig or something. And
everyone
took her
had
to like
have
Neverland or some dumb shit.
They all had to have a Mr. Mixelplix or what was the Flintstones one? Gizmo?
The Great Gazoo.
The Great Gazoo. The Great Gazoo.
But yeah, it was like something like, and it always got her.
He just popped up out of nowhere to talk to Fred like a shitty waiter.
Yeah, but this Gomer thing it was like something like it's classic. It's something only she could see, and it would show up and get her in trouble. Yeah, and it would take her to like some land that was different from the real world, and yeah. So
11 a.m. now. We're getting late in the day.
Oh yeah, it's when you started slumming.
CBS story break. That's straight out.
Yeah.
No fucking.
Oh
way.
yeah, that definitely. When I saw that storybook, we'll fucking see you next week.
Yeah. But that means it's time for NBC to go with Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, absolutely. That was appointment viewing for me.
Yes. So Alvin and the Chipmunks was a must-see, definitely for me too. Then by 11:30, CBS finally put something back on worth watching with Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
Weren't into it? Oh, I was so into that show.
Not at that time. No, Little Me, no.
Then you have the Littles and you have Kid Video.
Yeah, like again,
I don't remember Kid Video.
The Littles was hard for me. Like again, it was just
we are the Littles.
It transitioned me back into like, all right, see you next week, cartoons. Again, we're back to Junkie needing a fix. If I was watching the Littles, I still wanted to be watching cartoons. By that time, either it was time to go out and play, or my mom would have something for me to do also.
Yeah. 12 o'clock. You got Pole Position or Mr. T.
Yeah, see, by noon for me, it was. Remember going outside? Yeah, by 12 o'clock, it was NBC you later.
Yeah, by 12:30, there's no way I am even sticking around to know that American Bandstand is on, Charlie Brown.
I remember American
Get Along Gang, Spider-Man and Friends.
Trust me, plenty of Saturdays where you knew. I remember everything you just said. I remember watching all of it. But again, turned 40, feel like I turned 65. We were probably one of the last groups of people. By that time, someone came banging on your door because it was noon on Saturday. Yes. Hey,
if you were, or they either came to my door or I went out searching for them.
Yeah, noon on
because that sun was high.
Yeah,
you're burning daylight. You're expected to be home by sundown, by the time the street lights come on. So you got, 8 hours?
Yeah.
If you want to make it across town in your Huffy, you guys better get to work. You got to, get your posse together, scrape up some change, take some bottles back so you can get some burgers at the corner store. Then you go pick out some good sticks to, poke at weird things in the creek, quote unquote, that was probably just a drainage.
Because also another thing that I think is exclusive, maybe we're one of the last age groups to experience this. There was also kind of the unwritten rule on the weekends, you didn't go banging on somebody's door before noon.
Yes.
You kind of let them chill like it was family time. You let them eat breakfast and all that crap. You didn't go looking for people before noon either. But noon, about that time, you'd say, all right, heading out. Peace.
Yeah, and also, everyone had everyone navigated that Saturday morning differently, right? It was hard enough to fight with your siblings if you had them, or if you lived with somebody who loved golf. I pray for your soul. then, it was hard enough just to navigate that Saturday morning with the rest of your family. Imagine having somebody else over and they're like, but I always watch Super Friends. You're like, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, trust me, again, golf, not as a kid. No, again, trust me, because my grandpa loved it. Grandpa's coming over. No!
Yeah.
That's it for TV. It's going to be fucking golf on. So, yeah, and then what happened? At some point, because you put TV on Saturday morning now, there is not a cartoon to be found.
I can't really speak to what happened, because certainly by the time Saturday morning cartoons were no longer a thing, I had, not been watching them for long enough that I'm sure at some point in my adult life when I was drugged out at 8 a.m. and was like, yeah, let's watch some Muppet Babies, like, what happened? But... there's no more Saturday morning cartoons. But then by the time I had kids, this is on the dawn of on-demand culture, right?
So there was also an entire channel. If you wanted to watch cartoons, there was an entire channel that played them 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and Noggin saved my fucking life multiple times. And you've gotten no sleep as a parent, and you're like, they'll be fine. I'll just sleep right next to them while they look at this fucking blue octopus for 20 minutes, and I'll just try and get some sleep so I can go back to parenting for another 8 hours.
Here's something brightly colored that'll get their attention that's making soothing sounds. So, I guess that's right. Every day can be cartoon day now, right? There's an entire Netflix
Bob the Builder. That was a big one. Yes, we can. I don't care if you can. I just care if you make a lot of noise trying, because that's apparently all my kid cares about.
There is an entire Netflix I don't know about because I don't have kids. So yeah, I guess I get it. That's what happened to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's where the new Muppet Babies is.
Will Dave Coulier still be the voice of Animal?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't
Tell
know
me
that?
more. Who else was famous voices of the Muppet Babies?
I feel like
there was nobody that was voicing actual Muppets that crossed over, right? Not that I could recognize. It was a wholly original cast.
Yeah, Mrs. Cleaver was Nanny. Dave Coulier. Whoa. Dave Coulier apparently did half the damn cast.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Baby Animal, Baby Bunsen, Baby Bean Bunny, whoever the fuck that is.
Baby Janice.
Baby Janice. Uncle Statler and Waldorf. Camilla the Chicken.
Howie Mandel was Baby Skeeter, Baby
that's
Animal,
right.
and Baby Bunsen.
That's what I've said. I felt like there was more. Yeah, Howie Mandel was on there.
Yeah, they have. So Baby Animal was both Coulier and Mandel, probably depending on who they had for that day or whatever. It's not a demanding gig, Baby Animal. Like,
yeah,
the guy has like 5 words as an adult.
Yeah, right.
And it's basically Groot.
But one thing I do remember about the Muppet Babies is it introduced you, at least me, to the concept, speaking of Animal, of a callback. Because they would always have these outros with Baby Animal, where basically it was a way for them to tag it. One of his tags was go bye-bye, right? But it always had something to do with something that was from earlier in the show. It was a callback joke.
Right.
But it introduced young me to the concept of what a callback was. Because, you'd laugh at that was from way back at the beginning. Oh, haha, that's funny.
Big on the callback joke and big on the pop culture reference.
Yes.
Even in the intro has what young Kermit dressed as Indiana Jones running away from a boulder.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not big on, I guess Russie Taylor did some voices and also worked on the Simpsons. Well, his voice of Minnie Mouse for 33 years. So that was the biggest one.
It's a big voice actor.
Yeah.
Same with Frank Welker.
Frank Welker. Why do I know that name?
He's just a guy who did fucking he was a huge voice actor.
Oh, he was Fred in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, the original Fred. See, all that from People Are Stealing Legos in France.
Is it? I don't...
That's how we got
I'd have to listen back to you and figure out how we got there. All right, but we should move on, huh? We should move on to show.
This is your new home speaking. I know you haven't moved in yet, but I need some favors. Could you dust the blinds? The dust makes me feel dusty. Also, we could save a lot of money if you bundled your home and car insurance with GEICO. It's super easy to do online or over the phone. Last favor, when you move in, could you stick to one aesthetic? The last owner had a weird mix of floral wallpaper and nautical tchotchkes, and I can't have another identity crisis.
GEICO. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.